Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Canadian Immigrant web conference series, hosted in partnership with ACCES Employment. I am Ramya Ramanathan, editor of Canadian Immigrant, and I'm joined by my colleagues Laura Jackman, Sanjay Agnihotri, and Ricky Bajaj. So we are thrilled to have everyone join us for this industry-specific web conference for internationally educated banking and finance professionals. Please note that this will be recorded and posted on our website to watch for those of you who cannot attend in person. So this three-part web conference will feature speakers from Seneca College, Bank of Montreal, and ACCES Employment. Before we start our sessions with our first speaker, we have a short video to share with you from one of our sponsors, Western Union, who supports Canadian Immigrant and whose support enables us to run these free events and webinars for newcomers and immigrants across this country. So my colleague Laura is going to play the Western Union video for you now.
Hi, Jasmine. It's your brother here. I'm sending a little money home to help that dream of yours become a reality.
When you send money, you send more than money. Western Union.
Thank you, Laura. So now let's get started with our first speaker from Seneca College. We are thrilled to have join us today, John Wong. So John is the academic program manager for Seneca College's Faculty of Continuing Education and Training. He manages over 80 business programs and a team of professors and teaches the course Ethics and Social Responsibility for the Honors Bachelor of Commerce, Accounting and Finance program. So John, if there's anything to add about yourself, please do so. And if you have any questions for John, please feel free to type them in the chat or the Q&A box, or you can email us at info@canadianimmigrant.ca. We'll be checking our email through this event. So John, thank you for joining us today, and please take it away.
Great, thank you, Remy. I will start to share my screen, and welcome to all of you. So before we start, I want to, we typically have our land acknowledgement at Seneca, so I would like to read that to you. Seneca would like to acknowledge the land on which its buildings are housed.
The recording has stopped. This meeting is being recorded.
Faculty, support staff, and members of the public gather. This land is of traditional territory of the Mississaugas with a credit First Nation. We are guests on the space, and it is our shared obligation to respect, honor, and sustain the land. So today our seminar is a webinar, on financial services. And this is just a bit of and I won't go through my background. I'm sure it's quite boring, but I just want to point to my email at the top in case you have any questions, certainly, and I'll actually post that at the end as well. A little bit of a background. I do manage the academics at Seneca College. Prior to that, I actually spent over 25 years in the financial services sector.
The recording has stopped. This meeting is being recorded.
And prior to that, I also have my degrees from University of Toronto and my MBA from Dalhousie. Okay, so let me know if you can't hear me well. I know with virtual delivery, sometimes we get into some technology and the Wi-Fi issues.
John, sorry about that. We're not sure what happened, but we should be fine. Okay.
Okay, you mean the recording thing,
yes.
Right? Yeah, not a problem. Okay, financial services. right? And I think some of you may have come from that background, and but this is just a highlight of what we have in Canada, and it may not be that dissimilar to what you have, where you came from. But when we think of financial services, what do we think about? Normally, we think about banks, right? And certainly in Canada, that's probably the first thing that pops in our mind, right? Those are the big institutions, and in Canada we have our big five and others, and they take deposits and they lend out, and that's what we think of predominantly, especially when we go into a branch. We have a deposit accounts, we buy GIC, get a mortgage or a credit card. And as later on we'll see, there's much more to that. What else do we think of in financial services? We have insurance companies, right? Your life insurance, travel insurance, your property insurance, benefits, and they also are lenders as well, believe it or not, and investors. We have credit unions. Credit unions are basically really a group of people who belong to a membership of something, whether you're in the industries like if you're in contracting, like plumbers and police officers, they all belong to unions. The money are pulled together, and they use that, and that's done through savings accounts and other vehicles. And then the money is also lent out to its own members at discount rates. Investment companies. We think about like a Wood Gundy in Canada, or Nesbitt Burns. In the US, we might think of JP Morgan or Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs. And in a lot of cases, we think of them as investing our money. We want a stockbroker. And accounting firms. And there are a lot of them are public accountants that do audits, but they may have services if you have a small business, or for your own personal tax purposes, they will offer those services. And I think this is the last one, mortgage companies. These have sprung up over the last 10 years. They're becoming very popular, and their main focus is to lend money to mortgages. So as you can see, in financial services, it's much broader than what we consider as banks. I left out trust companies because that's certainly a form of financial institution as well. But the banks have gobbled most of them up, so they kind of roll into the banks anyways. Here's a list, I guess, a showing of the top 10 banks in Canada. As you can see, the top 5 are the big 5, as we refer to, and there's other banks as well, right? And in terms of total banks, we have actually 35 total domestic banks. We call that Schedule 1 in Canada, 24 subsidiaries of foreign banks. That means, an example, the Hong Kong Bank of Canada. A Hong Kong bank is the main parent, and they have a subsidiary in Canada, Hong Kong Bank of Canada, and that's a Schedule 2. And we have foreign banks, which are just Citibank. So they're just branches that are located in Canada. Now, why am I mentioning all this, especially the banks? I'm just going to actually turn off my video. Oops. Well, why is this important? Job opportunities. I mean, with so many, and I just listed banks, and I'm not including insurance companies, mortgage companies, investment firms. There are many banks in the country, which means there are opportunities everywhere. Okay, so, but what do we think about when we think about banks? As I mentioned earlier, the first thing we think about is probably branches, right? I want to work at a branch, and that's what we see. It's important because the branches are the sales arm of a lot of the banks. They're the ones that actually will get the product. They are the ones that get the money from your deposit accounts. They lend out through credit cards and mortgages. You go to the bank to get a mortgage or a car loan. So within the banks, what are the branches? What are required? What kind of duties? What kind of roles? Well, we have the mortgage specialists in the bank, and they will lend out to mortgages, credit. These are people that, in addition to mortgages, they may be lending out, as I mentioned, cars, credit cards, lines of credits. We have financial advisors. And these are people that if you want to go into a bank and you don't really know a lot about investments, they can advise you on investment product, but also maybe tax savings. Customer service representative. They would be the ones that would open an account for you. and service you in more general way. And lastly, there's administration that do maybe the paperwork, the admin stuff within a branch. So within a branch, it's you could see these different roles, and they're different skill sets, different backgrounds. So as you're thinking about branches, where do you think you can slot in? What is your background? What is your interests that you have? But beyond the branch, a lot of even branch people don't see behind that, right? Because even the branch managers will wonder, I wonder what's in the head office area. Fortunately, all my entire career in banking actually was in head office. So in addition to knowing the branch does, I actually was able to see all the inner workings of the bank, right? And there's much more than just being at the branches and selling. Well, what else can I do at a bank? We have products and services. So these are consumer products. So remember I mentioned mortgages, credit cards, and loans. These are credit products, and deposits are demand accounts and fixed term accounts. These are just some of them. The branch sells them, but someone or some group has to build these things, right? So if within even a product as simple as mortgages, there's actually a division that all they do, there's a big team that manages mortgages. They create the products, they do the marketing for it, they the product management. They look at data to see what people are doing. What are mortgage rates? How do we, how do they set it at? Credit cards is another division. Loans, unsecured or secured, are another division. So even within the credit side, there's at least 3, and there's more divisions within the bank that does this separately. And deposits, demand accounts and fixed term accounts tend to be in one group, one area that manages. Again, it's a large team. They're the ones that create the deposit accounts like savings and checking accounts, GICs, right? So there are guaranteed income certificates. You want to buy a 3-year GIC to lock in your money and get paid maybe 2%. So there are actually different teams that build these things. We have our corporate and commercial. So earlier, the previous slide is that those teams manage the consumers, so you and I as people. But companies also need these products as well. Companies need mortgages, commercial mortgages. They need corporate credit cards, corporate loans, corporate demand accounts, and a corporate checking account or fixed term accounts. So within the corporate commercial world, they also need the same products. And again, they may fall within a different group. Now, some banks will have it all rolled into one group, but other banks may have separate groups for that as well. So as you can see, even within the products in credit and deposits, there are multiple divisions that manage these separate entities, right? And as you're thinking through your career and your search, where is it that you want to get into? Is it consumer? Is it commercial? Is it credit? If it is in credit, is it mortgages? So these are just some examples. What else? Well, there's there's wealth management. Wealth management we think of is investing and advisory. So when a bank branch sells you a mutual fund, for instance, it's a pool of basically instruments, whether it's stocks, what we call equities, or bonds, and you invest in it because you want a higher return perhaps than a GIC or a checking or savings account, right? And so the advisory team will actually advise you on things like, well, how long do you plan to invest? When do you plan to retire? Do you like risk? Do you want to, the more risk you take, maybe the higher return, but there's a chance of more losses. Whereas if you don't like risk, they can advise you on safer products, but again, you may not make as much money. So that's the advisory. Investing side, there are actually people investing for you, right? Or in terms of building those mutual funds. But you may also want to hire a stockbroker because you don't want a mutual fund. You want to buy stocks. You want to buy gold. So there are people like that that can do those transactions for you. And we call that wealth management. Capital markets. Now, this is an area that practically no one in the bank sees, especially not the branches, because this is really on the corporate side. And this is an area that's highly specialized, and it is quite, it's very limited in terms of who gets hired into these areas. But I just want to give you an idea of what goes on. Mergers and acquisitions. When you think about maybe, oh, here's a more recent example. Elon Musk recently purchased Twitter, right? So he owns SpaceX, he owns Tesla. He bought Twitter for $44 million. Guess what? A team somewhere, probably in the US, maybe it's Goldman Sachs, maybe it's probably Goldman Sachs. A company has to help Elon Musk with the acquisition. So there's a very specialized team that will assist him in knowing how many shares he has to purchase, what will he pay per share. That's an example. Initial public offering is when a company goes public. So remember way back when Facebook, they went public, we call it IPO. So they were private and they were funded privately, but eventually they went into public where in the New York stock market where they issued stock. And so you and I can buy a Facebook, now it's called Meta, right? So again, the investment bankers will advise Facebook on how many shares you're going to issue, what is the price that they should lead at. Other two areas, there's investing, which it's very similar to wealth management, but they're investing on a much bigger level, and hedging. So hedging is when you're immunizing your risk. So imagine if you're, I'm not sure if any of you are in the import-export business, but imagine if you bought something from Brazil, right? You're not going to take delivery for 3 months, but you have to, so you don't have to pay for 3 months, but you've set on a price, but the price is on whatever the Brazilian exchange is. Well, you don't want during the 3 months before you pay and make delivery, the exchange rate between the Canadian dollar and the Brazilian currency move up and down. So you have to go to a bank somewhere and hedge that, to lock in that rate, right? So that's an example of hedging. So they do that for mainly companies, right? Whether it's hedging currency or hedging interest rates. So as I mentioned, these are much more complex, much more high level, but they are out, these jobs are out there. In my role, I spent a lot of my career in more than in hedging side. We manage the interest rate risk, liquidity risk. So we got to make sure we immunize, and not my role, the bank from any interest rate movements. What else? Well, we have finance support divisions. I'm going to talk about finance. And some of you may want to pursue an accounting sort of background designation. And in Canada, we have a CPA, right, which is the Chartered Professional Accounting designation. It used to be 3, actually. We used to have the CGA, the CMA, and the CA, right? And I think it was decided to follow more the American model of their CPA, except their CPA is a little bit, I mean, it's the CPA acronym, but their title's a little different. I think there's a certified public accountant, whereas ours is chartered public accounting, I think. But the 3 letters, there is absolutely a process and a program that you have to go through, right? And I'll talk a bit about that later in terms of the academics. So in the banks, we have people that have to manage accounting policy within the bank, right? Is it ensuring that it's not breaking any policy rules? It advises. So within a bank, there's finance teams that advise product lines, whether it's credit card or mutual funds or mortgages, just on the finance. They do audits, the review processes and the numbers. There's budgeting, forecasting, financial reporting, which again, we have quarterly, banks have quarterly investor meetings where they have to publish their financial reports. How's the bank doing? How much money is it making? So finance has to prepare all those financial statements, whether it's income statements, balance sheets. And lastly, treasury, and that's the world I belong to. So treasury manages the cash flow of the banks or any company, right? Do we have enough money in the system, in the bank to lend? What if we're not taking enough deposits? So banks, the treasury will basically represent the bank in issuing bonds for the bank or securitization. It will hedge exposures, as I mentioned, interest rates, currency, liquidity, dollars. So even within finance, these are all different divisions within a bank that you could, conceivably work for. Now, most of them do require some sort of accounting designation. In Treasury, the banks, anyways, they usually require like an MBA, CFA at minimum to enter those roles. Another support division is risk management. They manage liquidity risk, credit risk, market risk, operation risk, anti-money laundering. I'll quickly go through all of them, but there are risks within the bank, right? So what if the bank all of a sudden has no money coming in? How is it going to survive, right? We have to lend, we have clients that need money because they say you bought a house, right? When the date of your closing, you expect the bank to give you the money, right? Lend you the money to purchase the house, right? What if the bank doesn't have that money? So the risk management is to ensure that there's money within the bank. Credit risk, right? If you go and borrow money, how do they know that you will pay them back on a regular and timely basis? So there's a credit department that looks at your T4s, do a credit check. There's market risk, and I mentioned that earlier, interest rates, currency, operational risk. What if something goes wrong, right? Just say the computers went down, and because of that, the bank lost $20 million because of something. So who manages those kind of risks? Or what if there's a fire, right? And destroyed an office, right? What if there's a power outage and none of the systems are working? So somebody has to manage all of these operational risks. And last one I put on the list is anti-money laundering. And this is something that probably more than 10 years ago now, well, maybe 20 years ago, where money is being laundered through basically criminals, and they use the banking system to clean the money up, right? Whether they're drug dealers, ACCES, there's groups like that they have this money that they've acquired illegally, and once they pass it through the bank system, whether it's through wire transfers, they purchase investments, they use the bank they buy a house and use the banks to loan them money, whatever reason, they are now trying to clean their money. And so there are teams within the bank that manages the anti-money laundering to make sure that they check, to make sure that there's no suspicious transactions. Human resources. Well, in every bank, right, they need to hire somebody, they need to acquire talent. There's departures. What if you leave? Like you have to get replaced. To replace someone, it actually takes 3 to 6 months to effectively replace someone, because maybe that person has specialized knowledge that left. When you bring in a new person, that person may not have that knowledge and will need time to ramp up, right? So human resources has to manage these kind of transitions of people coming and going, okay? Training and development, right? Like if you start working, you want to make sure that you progress, you want to get promoted, right? You want to do good projects, you want to get paid more. Well, you need to be developed, right? You can't stay in one place and do the same thing and know the same thing. You constantly have to learn more, you have to do more, take more responsibilities. And so human resources as a whole has to manage their workforce to make sure they're all progressing, that no one's really left behind, that the right people are doing the right things, right? So if you hate numbers, you shouldn't be in a job dealing with numbers all day, right? If you're not creative, you shouldn't be in marketing. So they have to manage those resources to make sure people are doing what they love to do and what they're good at. Pensions and benefits. When you work for a company, you're gonna hopefully get medical benefits, dental, drug plan, and you'll get a pension. So again, they manage all that as well. Lastly, I put in there is something called ESG, and it's a new, it's not new, but it's certainly the visibility of this acronym. And I'll briefly talk about it. ESG means environment, social, or governance. Any company now, if they want investors to touch them, they better have an ESG platform. What does ESG mean? Well, for a bank, what are they doing for sustainability? Right? Are their clients destroying the earth? Right? If they have clients who are oil companies, what are they doing to work with oil companies to ensure that they're not polluting the earth? right? So there's a social and corporate responsibility for banks to make sure that whatever their activities are, they're doing it in a sustainable manner. Are they using too much paper? Should they be digitizing things? Social. And we think of social, we think of social inequality, social justice, and the movements in the last 5 years, Black Lives Matter, the indigenous schools, those are social issues. What is the company doing to support more social diversity, inclusivity, right? And again, people go to their website and see, well, what is your plan officially for social, and what are you actually doing? And is donating money to causes great? Absolutely. But what else? Like, money is easy. I mean, banks make so much money. Donating money is easy. Are executives volunteering in social events, right? Are they part of any parades? Are they part of any social ethnic gatherings? Maybe celebrations like Chinese New Year and Diwali, right? So that's important, and every company needs to have that there. So again, ESG tends to run out of human resources in terms of sustainability and diversity. I'm just checking my time here. Marketing. How do your customers know you exist? How do you know when they have specials on mortgage rates? How do you know they have a great credit card? So there's a team that actually manages the social media, the public relations of the bank, right? So for all of you who are creative, this is something that's important. And I'm trying to blister through this. So now, after I've gone through some of the type of opportunities within the banking system, well, what does Seneca offer? Well, first I want to talk about the Professional Excellence in Financial Services program. So Faculty of Continuing Education, which is where I'm from, which is part-time studies, adult learning, there are different ways of describing it. We do cater to the new immigrants. I mean, that's our space, and we collaborate with the Canadian Securities Institute. So they're the ones that have the Canadian Securities course for stockbrokers. We have an accelerated bridging program for internationally trained professionals have a background in financial services, and it's really designed to help you into the financial labor market in the shortest time period. There are actually a series of workshops. If you go into our site and type in professional excellence in financial services, it'll take you to the site and list you all the workshops available. And this workshop will help you position you for these kind of jobs in this area. Now, this is more on the finance side, as you can imagine, and later on I'll talk a bit about what if you are into marketing and other areas, right? And approximately 80% of our graduates have secured employment in the banking and finance industry through this program. Now, this is a separate program, a bridging program, but what if you want some sort of certification, a certificate or a diploma? What else does Seneca offer? We have our general business certificate, and that's at the foundation. It's only 6 courses. It's accounting, it's business administration, BAM. We have the English, mathematics, marketing, and systems. And this actually gives you a good foundation if you want to go out and start working, but also it pathways to other bigger programs. One of them is the general business diploma. And our diploma is about 23 credits. It depends, how long it takes depends on how many courses you take. So unlike full-time, where a young student it'll be a 2-year program, you have to take 5 courses a semester. In continuing education, we recognize people work during the day, and so we allow students to only take one or 2 courses a semester if they wish to, because they have to balance their work-life situation. And this is a general diploma, so it doesn't really focus on anything specific, and this diploma can pathway to a degree if you meet the requirements. Okay, there's minimum GPA requirements, but if you want to, after you do your diploma, you want a pathway degree, you certainly have that ability to do so. We have a marketing diploma for those who like marketing, the creative types. right? We focus on communication, selling strategies, web design, research, channel management. So again, for those who want to pursue marketing, we have our marketing diploma. Accounting. Now, I have to mention that accounting doesn't belong to me. There's another program manager that manages the accounting. His name is Po Tan, and actually I have his email address there. The accounting diploma is a 2-year diploma, right? And it goes through all the technology and accounting practices so that one can actually do some accounting work. Now, if you want to pursue your CPA, you have to pursue your Bachelor of Commerce. You either have a degree, and if you don't, we have our Bachelor of Commerce Accounting and Finance. And the accounting diploma pathways into the Bachelor of Commerce. Now, of course, you have to meet GPA requirements on that as well. And as I mentioned, this is the Bachelor of Commerce. And if you complete the program, there are actually 12 modules that are recognized by CPA, the Chartered Professional Accounting Association, right? So students that want to do their CPA certainly can pathway from a diploma to degree and then into the CPA program. And I'm almost done, I promise. Risk management. I mentioned earlier about risk management in the bank. And we have a recognition of achievement. It's actually 3 courses. And afterwards, you can actually pursue a couple of certifications through ACAMS and ACFE. These are recognized certification within the industry for risk management. So again, if you have a general background in banking, and you want to take it into a specific direction, risk management is actually quite a popular program for us. Again, especially those within the bank, and they just want to channel out of the branch and maybe out of more general work and into more specific. The other risk management is, and I mentioned earlier as well, is the anti-money laundering. I forgot to mention that there. So actually, sorry, this was the anti-money laundering, the earlier I mentioned, my apologies. So this is the, and this is also a 3-course recognition achievement. And this is the risk management. Again, this is 3 courses as well. And this one is on risk to the bank. What kind of risk? Credit risk, financial risk, operational risk. And their designation is, there's a designation called CRM, the Canadian Risk Management Certificate. And so again, for those who want to go outside of the general branch, general administration, sales, into something more specific, you can get into risk management or anti-money laundering. Again, quickly, how do you get to our site? And take so if you type in senecacollege.ca, you actually will land into this page right here. Okay, so senecacollege.ca. On the top right search field, if you type in part-time studies and hit enter, you'll get to this page. This is our landing page for continuing education, right? And you see there's 4 red boxes. Below that, the most furthest left is business. If you click that, you'll get into this page. It doesn't show the whole page because there's over like 100 programs here, right? I manage about 80 of the business programs within there. And you can see all the programs we offer, from accounting to risk management to human resources to project management to international business. They're all within there. And I believe this is my last page. And I'm up for questions after this, but I want to leave this here. So these are the links, and I think we could provide that through the chat. I think I've given them to Canadian Immigrant, but if not, we can always drop it. So this is the EFS program, the first link, so the bridging program for financial services. We have the Faculty of Continuing Education landing page. Seneca International. For those who, and I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, there may be some of you who are not in Canada who may want to study as an international student from where you are. So certainly connect with this link first to see what the process is for visas, fees, and those kind of information. So they specialize in that. So if you are you plan to study as an international student, I would reach out to them first. And then lastly, it's my email address. I certainly welcome all of you to contact me if any questions regarding the industry and some of the programs we offer. And I think I ran 5 minutes late, but I can live with that. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you, John. Great advice, great information, very practical. So we have time for one, maybe two questions. So let me just get to it. How can I start preparing for my, here. If someone wants to become a wealth manager, where should they start from?
Okay, so so wealth manager, I'll break it down into, we call it financial advisor, and there's wealth manager where they're investing funds. Financial advisor, that's probably the most plentiful of type of jobs in the branch. And normally, I would say, first and foremost, get a license in either in mutual funds or the Canadian securities course. Any of those jobs will require you to sell mutual funds, okay? Because if you may be an advisor, but you're going to be asked to sell products, right? So GICs, right, checking accounts, they don't require anything. But if you're going to sell a mutual fund, you need an IFIC course. We have the IFIC course, right? IFIC course. You can look that up in our site, and that allows you to transact in mutual funds. Without it, you can't, and that limits you an amount of value to your clients. The Canadian securities course is the gold star. It allows you not only to sell mutual funds, you can buy and purchase stocks, options, gold. So it depends on that. That'll be the first. If you're going to financial planning, financial advisor, CFP, the financial planning designation is valuable. You want to get into investment management. So now you're investing in high dollar, high value clients. You probably go get your CIM. So that's through the Canadian Securities Institute. They have a certified investment management designation. So it just depends where you want to go and what type of clients you want. In terms of jobs, more of them will be in the financial advisor. In every branch, they require one. So, but the dollar amount tends to be smaller. They're like regular people, I guess. The high dollar people tend to go to investment managers. You're talking Wood Gundy, Dominion Securities, RBC, and that's through the Canadian Securities Institute. So I hope I answered some of that for you.
Thank you, John. I think you have 30 seconds to answer the next question.
Okay.
How can I start preparing for my CPA before I come to Canada?
Wow. So I would say I left you an email for Poe. You should contact him, but I would, because a lot of them are accounting courses. So you need to have, you can, if you're coming to Canada, I would say get to the accounting diploma and start taking courses there first, because that will pathway to the Bachelor of Commerce, that will pathway to the CPA. So that's probably the best way. It's all course related. It's not designation related. You're not going to some designation. You have to start taking the prerequisite courses required by the CPA. I hope that's my 30 seconds are up.
Thank you.
Talk more than that, sorry.
Thank you so much, John. Excellent presentation once again. So next up to join us on the Canadian Immigrant web conference series for internationally trained banking and finance professionals, presented in partnership with ACCES Employment, we have Iqbal Haer. Welcome to Iqbal. He has provided his expertise on webinars last year, and we also actually published a Q&A about him last year. So just go to our website and you can learn more about Iqbal. So Iqbal has almost 30 years of banking experience and has processed through Bank of Montreal into his career as branch manager. Iqbal gets the opportunity as a branch manager to coach and develop his team to help them succeed in their career and help our clients make real financial progress. So if you have questions for Iqbal, once again, feel free to type them in the chat or Q&A feature, or email us at info@canadianimmigrant.ca. So Iqbal, please go ahead.
Great, thank you so much. Hi everyone, thank you so much for taking the time to attend. And just give me a couple of seconds and I will share my screen with you as well. Great, just want to confirm, can you see my screen?
Yes, you're good, yeah.
Perfect. Great, thank you. Before I start presenting, I actually would like to share my career journey with BMO. I was doing accounting in Kwantlen College out in BC. And through the accounting program, I was able to do a co-op position at BMO Bank of Montreal. Fortunately, they did hire me as a co-op student. You don't get to do the best parts in the best roles in banking. They had me filing. Back then, we didn't have digital copies of documents. So I cleaned out the stationery room, document room, reorganized everything for the branch during my co-op. And I must have done an amazing job because I got hired after that. Started out as a teller for a year or so, and then graduated to a customer service rep when there were two different roles, and then went into working for opening up bank accounts and doing investments, then eventually lending as well, so helping clients with their mortgages and loans, and then got into leadership, went into a very different role outside of the branch, led the team that did the audit of the loan and mortgage files, and then later came back into the branch, did my lending again, and then spent my time the last 10 years, actually 12 years now, in the leadership role. And what I really enjoy about my job is the coaching and the development of my team and seeing my team members grow with their careers. I always used to have a rule, stay with me for 2 years, learn what you can. And within the 2 years, you should go on to a different role unless you absolutely love what you do. And if you love what you do, then stay here with me. And the reason why I say 2 years is the first year is always about learning and mastering the role. And the second year is really showing what you have learned and doing your performance. So that's the reason for my 2 years. And since last time, Ramya, I'm glad to share, I did get it promoted. So I am now senior branch manager at BMO Bank of Montreal branch located in downtown Toronto. It's working in the flagship branch in downtown. What I really get to do is coach and develop my team. And that's what I love about this branch.
I'm just going to jump in and say congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. As you know what, John is a great partner to have on this presentation because John has mentioned all the different roles and aspects of working at a financial institution. Myself, I'm in the retail branch. I love talking to customers. I love helping customers, and I love helping them make their dreams come true. So I'll start the presentation now, and if anybody has questions about my career journey, feel free to reach out to me at any time. So on to the presentation. So starting your life in Canada is exciting, but can be overwhelming at the same time. So I'm here to guide you through the first steps you need to make your transition as smooth as possible. This information session is designed to help you through the process and to give you an introduction to banking in Canada. Before we jump right into our agenda, let me tell you more about BMO, who we are, and why you should make us your financial partner in this new chapter of your life. BMO is Canada's oldest bank with over 200 years of history and comprehensive resources to help newcomers make the right choice for their financial needs. JD Power, which is the best retail banking advice in Canada, we were awarded in 2020 and 2021, and we want it in 2022. BMO Financial Group received the highest customer satisfaction ranking in retail banking amongst the Canada's largest banks in the JD Power 2020 Canada Retail Banking Advice Satisfaction Study. MoneySense top checking account from a big bank in 2020, and our performance plan was named the best checking account by MoneySense. So whether it comes to years of experience, product excellence, and of course, customer service. We have it all to make us the financial partner you can trust and rely on whatever challenges or opportunities that may come your way. Today, we will give you an overview of what you need to know about banking in Canada. Why open a bank account? Learn how to access your money. What do you need to open an account? Build your credit history, understand the purpose it serves and best practices to building credit. Learn how to send money to family and friends in multiple ways. So we'll start off with our limited time BMO account opening offer. So BMO Bank of Montreal, we have the different bank accounts. We'll go through building credit and transferring funds. Opening up a bank account is one of the first things you'll want to do. That's because your bank account will allow you to deposit the savings you brought with you, pay your bills, manage your day-to-day expenses, deposit the income you earn in Canada. A bank account will keep your money safe and will easily be accessible. There are two types of bank accounts to consider: a checking account and savings account. A checking account will meet most of your everyday needs for depositing and withdrawing money and is the first account you'll want to set up. It's also a good idea to open a savings account for saving extra cash that you don't need for daily expenses, but want easy access to. Opening both types of accounts will make it easier to manage your day-to-day banking while you also start saving as soon as possible. And a tip from me is BMO Bank of Montreal offers newcomers to Canada 1 free year of performance plan banking. So that way you can save money and start investing. And we'll go through the different ways that you can access your account. I won't go into too much detail with them. I know banking is a little bit different in every country, but there are a lot of similarities. You will receive a debit card when you open up your account. And this can be used at the ATM machines or when you're making purchases at retail shops. For the ATM card, you can also access your mobile banking in order for you to view your account and also pay bills and do other types of transactions. Bank branches, every bank has a local branch that you can visit to withdraw or deposit money. And of course, our online banking and mobile banking platform. And for those clients that are very cautious of what they enter into their mobile phone or desktops, we also have telephone banking where you can call in to ask questions and also to complete some transactions. So building credit history. Your credit history is created when you borrow money or apply for credit, like your first credit card, and contains facts about how you handle credit. Canada's central credit bureaus use your credit history to give you a credit score, which reflects how well you borrow and repay money. Banks, rental agencies, and other businesses may use your credit score. Will help you qualify for your loans to buy a car, get a mortgage, or pay for school. When you're getting settled in Canada, there may be a number of things that you need to buy that will cost you more money than you have. These might include a car, furniture, or appliances for your home or student education expenses. If you want to borrow money from a bank in Canada, you will need a Canadian credit history. Your credit profile is your financial reputation. Your credit history is created when you first borrow money or apply for credit. Each time you borrow, you build a credit history. Credit card companies and other creditors keep a record of what you owe and when you pay your bills. This information is used to give you a credit score. Banks, rental agencies, and other businesses use the score to help them decide whether or not to lend you money, rent you an apartment, or approve your mortgage. Your credit history from your home country is normally not recognized in Canada. It's very important for newcomers to establish a Canadian credit history as soon as possible. And credit cards are widely used and accepted in Canada. They are more than just a convenient way to shop. They are also needed to rent a car or set up contracts for mobile phones. And more importantly, for newcomers to Canada, credit cards are also one of the best ways to establish a personal credit history. One of the key benefits of having and using a Canadian credit card is that it's an easy way to establish a credit history here and build good credit rating. Even if you have a credit card from your home country, it's a good idea to get a Canadian card to show your banks and other lenders that you can borrow and pay back money responsibility. Your good credit history will help you earn a better credit score, which will make it easier for you to borrow money down the road and when you want to make a bigger purchase, such as a home or a car. You will need to use your credit card to build credit history. If you are not comfortable with credit or owing, you can also use the card and pay it back anytime and treat it more like a cash card. You don't have to wait for the payment date and can choose to pay it down weekly or after the transactions appear on your online statement. It's important to keep your credit card and your credit rating as safe as possible. Here are some tips you can take to protect your card and maintain a good credit score. Protecting your card, make sure you sign the back of your card as soon as possible. Report a lost or stolen card immediately as soon as you become aware. And never write down your credit card PIN. And PIN is short for personal identification number. Track your spending online or against your statement. And protect your credit rating. Pay your bills on time. Pay off your credit card balances in full every month. And if you can't make the full payment, try to pay more than the minimum by the payment due date. Check your credit profile for errors. It's wise to check your credit profile each year to make sure there are no errors on your profile that could compromise your credit worthiness. Many banks, including BMO, now offer free credit monitoring or credit checks within our banking plans. Make sure your payment is received by your bank on or before your due date, and note that phone and online payments are generally processed the next business day, while mailing a check can take up to 1 full week. Don't use credit you don't understand. Don't wait to report problems, and don't exceed your credit limit. Now, your next question might be, how long does information stay on my credit bureau report? A credit bureau can keep positive or negative information in your credit report. In general, negative information stays in your credit report for 7 years. This includes missed or late payments, accounts which are sent to collection agencies, and previous bankruptcies or consumer proposals. Your credit score is a 3-digit number that comes from the information in your credit report. It shows how well you manage credit. You get points if you use your credit responsibly. You lose points if you have trouble managing your credit. And there are ways to improve your credit score. Always make your payments on time. Don't skip a payment even if a bill is being disputed. And best advice is try to use 35% of your available credit. It's better to have a higher credit limit and use less of it each month. So for example, if you have a credit card with a $5,000 limit and a line of credit with a $10,000 limit, so your available credit then becomes $15,000. Once you know how much credit you have available, calculate how much you are using. Try to use less than 35% of your available credit. In our example of $15,000, try not to borrow more than $5,250 at a time, which is 35% of $15,000. Also, limit your number of credit applications or credit checks. Apply for credit only when you really need it. And I can use, the credit reports as an example. And we had a client who came to us to borrow. Their credit score was 585. And we asked the client a few questions, and there was some items on the credit bureau which she did not recognize. Immediately, the client contacted the credit bureau reporting, explained her concerns, and they were actually able to amend her credit bureau, and we got her credit bureau score back up to 766. So it is very important that you are checking your credit bureau report on a regular basis. And if there are any items on there, contact the credit bureau company as soon as possible. So your move to Canada may have separated you from your family and friends. And if you need a fast and easy way to send money to them or receive money from them, your bank can help you in different ways. We can send wire transfers, Western Union money transfers, and now we also have BMO Global Money Transfers, and Interac and e-transfers within Canada. Wire transfers allow you to send money almost anywhere in the world in any currency. Won't go too much into here. Interac and e-transfers, I think, is pretty much known worldwide. And in Canada, it can be only sent to a member of another Canadian financial institution. And BMO Global Money Transfer is a convenient and secure way to send money or make payments, as they can easily be cashed here in Canada or overseas. We're going to go into what we can offer as the BMO NewStart program. So in addition to what we've covered today, I want to add that BMO can also help you in many other ways, such as savings and investments, preparing for your children's education and savings, buying a home in Canada, starting your own business, start planning for your retirement, or you can even speak with a financial planner to do a thorough financial plan for you. We all work hard for our money. Investing makes the money we earn work for us. Today, there are a number of investment options and styles for you. There is one of the type of accounts is a registered retirement savings plan, otherwise known as RRSP. It's a government registered account that holds investments, allowing the account to accumulate in value tax-free until withdrawal at retirement. Another type of registered account is the tax-free savings account, and it's a registered account that allows you to earn investment income tax-free inside the account. Any withdrawals from the account are tax-free. And if any of you have children, you can open up a registered education savings plan for them, otherwise known as an RESP, and it allows your money to appreciate tax-free in a plan until the beneficiary is ready to attend an eligible post-secondary school. The Government of Canada will help with saving incentives for your RESP, which are invested along with your contribution. These include the Canada, Perfect. So these include the Canada Education Savings Plan Grant. The government will add 20% annually to the first $2,500 contributed to an RESP. And then there is also the Canada Learning Bond. The Government of Canada will make a one-time payment of $500 into an RESP, plus provide $100 a year until the child turns 15 years old. The maximum for this is $2,000. In these accounts, you have various investment options. You can purchase guaranteed investment certificates, market-linked guaranteed investment certificates, mutual funds, exchange-traded funds, stocks, and bonds. And international money orders, you can, this is wrong. Give me one more, retail. Whether you're an investing pro or just starting out, we have options for you. For our self-directed accounts, we do have BMO Investor Line, where you can purchase your own investments and select very fixed income investment stocks, bonds, or be very heavily invested in equity, where you can select your own stocks as well. Right. Our convenient NewStart banking package is available to landed immigrants and foreign workers who arrived in Canada within the last 5 years. We will offer the free performance plan checking account for 1 year with unlimited transactions. You can have up to 20 accounts covered under your plan, your choice of a BMO MasterCard to build your credit history, a free small safety deposit box for 1 year, and 25% discount on any other sizes. You will also receive a bonus interest rate above our posted rates on BMO term investments when you invest $1,000 or more, and mortgage solutions to help you finance your home or purchase. Our newcomers account opening offer. When you set it up, you are eligible for a $300 offer. You can also set up a family bundle banking on the account, which will give you an additional $50 in bonus offer. In order to qualify for the bonus offer, you must set up at least 2 of the following: a reoccurring direct deposit to the checking account, make 1 bill payment of at least $50 through online or mobile banking for at least 2 consecutive months. Set up one pre-authorized debit of at least $50 from your checking account and have at least 2 consecutive months. Open a Smart Saver account and earn 1.25% on your balance for the first 4 months. The performance plan includes unlimited transactions, unlimited Interact e-transfers, safety deposit box as well. The BMO NewStart program includes special offers such as the no annual fee credit card cashback, where you can receive 5% cashback in your first 3 months with the new BMO Cashback MasterCard. Guaranteed investment certificates, we can help you grow your savings with a 0.25% bonus interest rates on GICs. And mortgages, even with no credit history, we will guide you through step-by-step through the process from your pre-approval, down payment, and everything in between. And I just want to mention, when you are opening up an account at any financial institutions, majority of the banks here will do a credit check when you open up an account. You have the right to refuse, say no to the credit check. My recommendation is to say yes, because if you have not applied for anything in Canada before, any credit facility, by saying yes when you are opening up an account, you are actually establishing your credit history. It opens up your file with the credit reporting agency. So right away, your credit history is starting to begin. And what type of account do you need to open up an account? If you're a permanent resident, your permanent residence card or citizenship or Immigration Canada form is valid, and any photo ID that you have, such as a foreign passport or driver's license as well. If you're a foreign worker, your work permit along with a valid photo ID, and for international students, a valid passport and a study permit is also sufficient. Make sure that you bring your original identification documents with you when you are opening up an account. Make sure they are not expired or canceled, and we can't use pictures of your photo ID on your mobile phone in order to open up an account. We must see the original. And a little bit about credit cards and mortgages, questions that we get asked frequently. Are there any interest, or are there interest-free grace periods on BMO credit cards? Yes. All BMO credit cards offer interest-free grace periods of at least 21 days if you pay off your full balance in full by the payment due date. Can international students apply for credit cards at BMO? Yes. We offer no annual fee student credit cards as well. Can I apply for a credit card if I don't have any Canadian credit history? Yes. You can also apply for that as well. And remember, when you apply, it does create your credit history as well. When should I apply for a mortgage? If I bought a pre-construction property in Canada, but still live in my country of origin. If you bought a pre-construction property in Canada, plan to apply for a mortgage in Canada, pre-arrival mortgage lending policies for Hong Kong and China residents. For these two regions, they can apply for a mortgage with the purchase agreement from pre-construction. For residents that are outside of these two regions, our recommendation is to apply for a mortgage once you arrive. And then, can I apply for a larger safety deposit box? Yes, you can apply for a larger safety deposit box. You won't have the fee waived for the first year, but we will give you a discount on the additional size. What payment methods are commonly used in Canada? The most common payment options are debit cards, Interact e-transfer, Google Pay, and Apple Pay. If I don't have my temporary social insurance number yet, what IDs do I need to open up an account? I think I went through these already as well. So thank you for having me here. My contact details are here. I am located at BMO Bank Montreal First Canadian Place branch on the corner of King and Bay Street. And feel free to contact me either by email or by phone at any time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Iqbal. Very, very insightful and lots of great information. Thank you for that. So let's get to the questions. The first one, I have experience in a credit union position here in Vancouver. However, I don't feel like there is much progression within the organization. In your opinion, will larger banks look down on a small town credit union role?
I would have to say absolutely not. You have the experience of working in the retail branch, which is a huge asset. We have hired individuals from credit unions, whether you're working at a credit union in downtown or out in the suburbs. It's the skills that you've gained, the knowledge that you've gained in order to apply at any financial institution. And we are hiring.
You are hiring. Okay, yeah. Great. And there's a question that came in, which was, why are banks always hiring? Do people get fired often?
That is not the case. So if you're applying for an entry-level position, it is an entry-level position where we get to train you. You get to show us how you can perform. And we are always hiring because people are always being promoted. That is it. I can honestly say, being fired in my 30 years at the bank, there's been, I can't even count on both hands how many people I've seen being fired. People have either gone to another fields in their work, such as going into headquarters if they specialized in marketing. They got their foot in the door at the retail branch and then looked for positions in marketing or HR within the financial institutions, which allows us to hire new talent.
That's great to hear, because I often wonder this as well, because my account managers are always moving. I always have new people managing my accounts.
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe you touched on this, but can you open an account while living outside of Canada?
Yes, so depending on which country you are living in, we do have arrangements in China to open up accounts before you arrive, so pre-arrival. And we also just launched for India as well. You can open up your accounts pre-arrival, and I believe if it hasn't launched, I believe the Philippines as well.
Which is great, right? Because 410,000 or 400,000 immigrants are being welcomed into Canada every year. Minister, yes. Yeah, so which is great. The next question, what is the average salary for an entry-level position in Toronto? I mean, this is a very specific question. Maybe you can talk about this or talk about where people can find average salaries online.
Well, for an entry-level position, I'm assuming that we are talking about the customer service representative would be an entry-level position in Ontario. I think probably it is at least minimum $15 an hour is the minimum wage. But I know that most banks are paying higher than the minimum wage as well. So salary is, I always say, negotiable. If you have these skills, the experience, the financial institution may be willing to pay more, right? And I can't talk on behalf of all the other branch managers across Canada.
Great, thank you. Right. And the minimum wage is different across provinces, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so you'll have to look at the province and check them out. I don't know the difference either, but that's something you could also look at. Thank you so much, Iqbal. And we'll go to our final speaker for the day. Our third speaker for our Canadian Immigrant Web Conference Series for internationally trained banking and finance professionals is Eva Balinska. Eva is the coordinator for bridging services at ACCES Employment, where she supports 8 programs. She's been with ACCES for over 10 years and has worked as an employment consultant, helping internationally trained financial services professionals navigate the Canadian labor market. So welcome, Eva. And folks, if you have any questions for Eva, please feel free to type them in the chat by clicking the chat button or typing them on the right-hand side or in the Q&A. You can also email us at info@canadianimmigrant.ca. So Eva, thank you so much, and please go ahead.
Thanks, Ramya, for the introduction, and good afternoon, everyone. I just wanted to start with saying thank you to the organizers for giving me this opportunity to speak about ACCES Employment, and actually 2 bridging programs specifically. I will be focusing on that today. And thank you all participants to join this webinar. So just give me a second. I'm going to share my screen. Just 1 second. Can you see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. So as Ramya said, I am a coordinator for 8 bridging programs at ACCES Employment. But I used to work as an employment consultant, and I was supporting clients in 2 bridging programs. And those 2 bridging programs are Financial Services Connections Program and Leadership Connections Program. But what is ACCES? Who we are? So ACCES Employment is a non-profit organization. And what we do, we support, assist job seekers from diverse backgrounds, and we help the job seekers to integrate into Canadian labor market. And how do we do that? We do it by providing employment services, all kinds of a really wide range of employment services. We also link our clients, participants of our programs to employers. And we work really hard on building professional networks with different organizations, employers, academic organizations as well, and other community partners. I put our website here at the top of this slide. It's very easy to find us. You just Google ACCES Employment, and just note that ACCES is spelled with 1 S here. Okay, so don't spell it with 2 S's because you may find a different organization. And we have 7 locations now. So we are in Brampton, Mississauga, Toronto, North York, Scarborough, Markham, and Newmarket. And I'm not going to go over every single program. I just wanted to show you this slide just to make you aware that we provide a really wide range of different job search services. And we serve to all job seekers, but I must say that ACCES is really a leader in providing services to internationally trained professionals. So as you can see here, we have a lot of job search related services. We have mentoring program. We have special program for clients who want to start open their business. We have some specialized programs for women, language programs, a program for youth, customer service in partnership with IKEA. And we also have pre-arrival services. And I will speak about that a little bit later. Today, the reason I was invited to this event is basically to speak about 2 bridging programs, as I said at the beginning. But before I do that, just wanted to show you other sector-specific programs that we offer at ACCES Employment. So as you can see, we have a number of bridging Ontario Bridge Training Programs. That's the official a name for those programs. We have programs for engineers, for healthcare professionals, for human resources professionals, sales and marketing professionals, IT. We have 2 new programs related to cloud computing, also Microsoft skills for employability. And we also have a number of programs that we don't call bridging programs. We call them industry-focused training programs. So construction trade, cybersecurity, another program for women only, women in technology. The program I already mentioned, if you want to open your own business, IKEA. And then we have 2 programs for French-speaking clients. One is for business and one is for financial connections program. What is a bridge program? What is Ontario Bridge Training Program? This is actually, this definition of a bridge program is from the Ministry of Colleges and Universities. And the bridge program is designed to help international trained immigrants get employment in the field in which they were trained or in a related field without duplicating the existing education. So what this basically means is that a bridge program is the way it's designed is the fastest and the shortest way to employment in Canada. You can think about, or you should think actually about the bridging program as type of a boot camp, a very intensive training that consists of certain components, okay? And those are the bridging program components. I'm going to make a general introduction to those components, and then once I go to the slide with the financial services connections and leadership connections, then I will explain it a little bit in more detail. But at ACCES Employment, and there are other organizations that offer bridging programs, so they may differ from what we have from our model. But at ACCES Employment, all bridging programs have those components. Okay, so one of the components included in a bridge program is the Canadian context academic component. So what that means is that we partner with different academic institutions. And more specifically, we work for Financial Services Connections Program and for Leadership Connections Program. We work with Ryerson University, and we also work with Humber College. For other bridging programs, we have other academic partners. It can be Sheridan College, for example. It's the program for sales and marketing and Microsoft. We work with Sheridan. And Canadian context academic component means that we deliver a certificate component, and that differs from program to program. So the type of the certification you're going to get in each program will depend on which program you're going to take. Experiential learning projects, this component is also present in every bridging program. And what that means is that we invite employers who come to us with either a business idea or a business dilemma that they have, and they come for help, basically. And they come to Financial Services Connections Program or Leadership Connections Program to use skills and experience that our bridging program participants have. So for Financial Services Connections Program, Leadership Connections Program, we have employers who come with finance-related project. And the role of the participants I mean by the bridging program participants, is to work on that project in project groups. What you do, you do some research, you analyze data that you collect, and also come with recommendations. So you present all of this, your findings, your analysis, and your recommendations in a final presentation to the employer. For each program, we work with different employers. It can be an insurance company. We actually developed a close relationship with one of the insurance companies, and they assigned a number of projects to our clients. But also it can be a smaller company, it can be a startup, but all of these projects, like I said before, are somehow related to finance. It's a great experience to have. You can consider it being a local experience. It's not a job experience, but it's definitely an experience that you gain in Canada working on a project for real employer. So this is the the experience that you can definitely showcase on your resume, and we encourage that. And also that's also a good piece of for an interview, you know, when you meet with an employer and they ask you about, okay, so now you're in Canada, what have you done so far? You know, what have you done so far in Canada? What are you doing now? So instead of, you know, saying, well, nothing, looking for a job, you can say, well, you know, I participate in a bridging program. It's a great platform for me to get into financial services or finance. And I also gained some experience working with teams, project teams for a Canadian employer. So that's the experiential learning component in our bridging programs. Now, there's more than that. Another component is business communication. And business communication component is delivered by our external consultants. There are a lot of different stakeholders involved in bridging programs. So ACCES, of course, we are, as an organization, it's our program, our project, we put it together and we monitor it, but we also invite different partners. So for business communication, we have either independent consultants, business coaches, or like for financial services connections program, we work with Ryerson University. And Ryerson University delivers a course, actually, that is modified to the needs of our clients and to the format of the bridging program. If you went to school, if you went to Ryerson to take that course, that will be a 3-month course, which is a whole semester. It's the same course that was offered through our program, but like I said, it's modified to our format. And business communication is present in financial services connections program, and it's also present in the leadership connections program. There's also another component that is present in each bridging program, which is critical thinking and problem solving component. That is a full day workshop. It's a type of assessment, actually, that our clients are asked to complete before the workshop. And in the workshop, the consultant will address the results of this assessment. The assessment basically assesses your own personal style of critical thinking and problem solving, and helps you to better understand yourself, your own style, but also is very helpful in context of working with other team members, and understand also other people's styles of work and problem solving. This workshop goes beyond critical thinking and problem solving. What's addressed in this workshop is also the essential skills that Canadian employers are looking for in candidates. And of course, there is a sector-specific job search component. I left it till the end because it is a larger component with smaller subcomponents. And what I wanted to say before I discuss this component is that the bottom line is that, as you can see, there are all these great, components, certification, experiential learning, business communication. But the bottom line is that a bridge program is actually a job search program. The main goal of the bridging program is to have, for us, our goal is to have our clients employed after the program ends. The success rate is quite high. We have 85% success rate. What that means is that 85% of our clients get employed in their field within a year of completing the program. That's how we gauge our success. There's always a small percentage of clients who don't get employment. I was with that program for a long time, so I know the reasons of that small percentage. Usually, the reasons are that a client decided to go back home. Okay, they didn't stay and decided to return to where they came from. Another reason is it could be personal, family, especially for our female clients. And another reason is that some of our clients, small percentage of clients, decide that they're in Canada, it's a new opportunity. They actually don't want to pursue the banking career or financial services career. They want to go for a career change and they go back to school. So those are usually the reasons of our clients who don't get employed in the field. I'm going to talk more about the jobs, the sector-specific job search, but let me actually jump to the slide, and I apologize for the small font. I hope you guys can see it. This slide will help me to go into more details of some of the components. So as you can see, this is Financial Services Connections in a Digital World program. It's our new name. And this is a 6 week program. Okay, where do I start? Okay, let's start with Ryerson University. So for Ryerson delivers their course, which is called Workplace Communication in Canada for Financial Service Professionals. Okay, you get a certificate for that, 7 full days. And those are some topics that the instructor covers. So working with teams in Canadian context, how to structure your verbal communication, how to apply communication strategies and use feedback model, the consultative conversations, how to actually have these consultative conversations. There's a talk about emotional intelligence, about conflict resolution, about organizational development, styles of leadership, and also presentations, formal and informal. I'm going to leave the job search towards the end, but I also want to talk about the certifications that are included in the Financial Services Connections program. Like Seneca College, we also work with the Canadian Securities Institute, and through our program, you can complete one of those courses that are listed here. So you can either take Investment Funds in Canada course or Personal Financial Services Advice, Financial Planning 1 or 2, and then Credit Risk Assessment and Lending Decision Skills for Canadian Small Business Lenders. I just wanted to say something because often when I talk about this certification, those certifications, my potential clients think that our program is only for banking jobs, okay? But it's not true. Our program is wide open to all financial services and finance professionals. Our groups are very diverse. So when I say groups, we usually have groups ranging between, I would say, 12, 14 to 23 people, depending on the time of the year and our intake. And our groups are really, really diverse. We can have someone in our group from retail banking. We can have someone from commercial banking. We have clients with experience in risk, credit, anti-money laundering, but we also have clients with experience in accounting, bookkeeping, financial analysis. Okay, so just wanted to say that this course is an option that is included in our program. You can take advantage of it if you want to, and especially this is aligned with your career goals. But if not, if you are a financial analyst, for example, or a risk specialist, and you don't really need these courses, that's fine. You don't have to take that course. You just take advantage of other components of the program. We also have a Canadian Economy Workshop. We work closely with RBC Bank. RBC is our sponsor, and they come and deliver their own workshop. We work with all banks, by the way. I will talk about it later when I discuss the job search component. So job search component is right here at the bottom of this slide. And we do a lot of different things. We normally start with a workshop, related to job search topics. So it could be a resume or interview or networking. We have this, we cover all kinds of different topics. We have activities, group work, presentations. Our workshops are really, really interactive. There is really not much of the consultant talking. It's more of the interactive discussion and also a lot of different activities. But that's the workshop. And then we do also a lot of one-on-one work with the clients. And what that means is, I'll give you an example. So one of the examples would be, let's talk about maybe networking, okay? So we have a workshop about networking, what networking is, how to network, how important it is, different tools, ways of networking. You learn all of that. But then what we also do, we provide a lot of opportunities to our clients to actually practice their networking skills in real life situations and expand their network, their professional network in Canada. This is what newcomers usually don't have. Or if they have a network, it's usually limited, it's small, usually, not always, but that's, usually that's the case. And through the program provides you an opportunity to develop that network and meet people from the industry. So we invite guest speakers to our program, mentors. We actually match our clients with mentors, so you can have a one-on-one mentor for the duration of 3 months. We also organize speed mentoring events with a large number of different mentors joining, and hiring events, job fairs, and that's all related to finance and financial services positions. Another example would be interview. We do have a workshop, but then we also do a lot of practice. So there's a special software that we use for our clients to practice the video interview. We practice a lot of interview questions in a group setting, but we also do mock interviews, which is one-on-one, where we do a recording of your interview. Then you have an opportunity to watch your own interview, and then a consultant and a job developer together provide a lot of feedback. Generally speaking, in our bridging programs, there is a lot of feedback provided. So you need to be open to that. You need to be open to learning. You need to be open to changing your mindset completely, unlearn what you know, learn new things. And we really go in depth. Let me go back to the interview example. When we help you prepare for interviews, and this is what I used to do with my colleague Victoria, job developer. We really would go in depth. What that means is we would analyze your answer to the point that even make recommendations. Okay, maybe you can use a different example. Maybe you can use a different story. Try to rephrase this sentence. Try to use a different term. Make it more specific. Maybe you can organize your answer a little bit better. So it's easier for your audience to follow. The mock interviews would take us forever, honestly. Like, it would take forever, but it is a very much needed exercise for our clients. In my experience, everything that you learn in our program, whether it's business communication or critical thinking workshop, Canadian economy workshop, workshop with RBC, all of this comes together in that interview practice. Then all of a sudden, everything that you learn in that program starts making sense. And I know my clients often, always used to tell me how eye-opening that experience was for them. And interview preparation is something that we're really particular about, because no matter what position you had in an organization, how senior you were, and no matter whether you experience, even if you had international experience, you know, we all need support when we prepare for interviews, including myself. You know, if I was called for interview tomorrow, even though that's what I used to teach, I work with clients, I have them prepare for the interviews. If I was called for interview, I would have to actually sit down and prepare myself. Okay, so this is something that we do, and we do well in our bridging programs. Let me jump to leadership, because this is, we have financial services, but we also have leadership connections program. And the Leadership Connections program, as you can see, the full name of that program is Leadership Connections in Finance, IT, and Consultancy. It's also a 6-week program. There are a lot of similarities between these programs. So Canadian Economy Workshop is the same, creative thinking, experiential learning project, there's business communication, there's a job search component, but there is also a different component here. And this component is from Humber College. And this is Humber College course, Leadership Skills in a Canadian Context for Internationally Trained Professional Certificate. So what is the difference between financial services and and Leadership Connections program? The main difference is that to qualify for Leadership Connections program, you would have to have experience in a leadership role. So if you were a manager, a vice president, a president, a project manager, a consultant, business consultant, a team leader, this program might be for you. And why do I say might? Because let's say your experience was in branch management, you are a branch manager or regional manager for commercial banking, for example. Okay, so you're still you are a manager, you are managing people, but in this case, this program, Financial Services Connections program, would make more sense than this one. Now you might be thinking, why? Okay, so how do I determine it? Which program is better for me? We do have information session for our programs, and I will show you later on how to access that site with information sessions. If you're in doubt, if you're not sure which program is good for you, I would encourage you to attend both information sessions for Financial Services Connections program and for the Leadership Connections program, and then make a decision. And make the decision with support of our consultants, because sometimes the fit for each program is not that clear, even for us sometimes. Even as we have to have a conversation with you. We need to meet with you, we need to get to know you a little bit better, look at your resume, get to know you as a person as well, understand what is it you're looking for here in Canada, understand what are your strengths, what are your challenges, and then we can help you make that decision as to which program is better for you, or maybe not even Leadership and Financial Services Connections program, maybe a different bridging program, or maybe another service as ACCES Employment. It's not unusual for us to have clients in our info sessions who think they're a good fit for the Financial Services Connections program, and then we realize that we may serve that client better in a different program. So like I said, if you are in doubt, if you don't fully understand the differences between those programs, no worries, it's normal. And like I said, attending information session and having a conversation with a consultant is going to be very, very helpful. Okay, I just wanted to say something before I jump to basic program eligibility and how to access our information sessions. Let me go back quickly to this slides. When you look at these components, no matter what we do, whether it's a work-based communication, job search, future skills, each of this component, in each of this component, we focus a lot on communication to be successful finding employment in Canada. So one of the things, I mean, clients learn in these programs a lot of different things about labor market in Canada, about banking, about financial services sector in Ontario, in GTA. but also one of the things that clients discover in this program and learn is storytelling. Okay. I know I'm running out of time, so I'm not going to go into details in what storytelling is, but I just wanted to say that client discovered that storytelling, which normally we associate with, I don't know, entertainment or education, it's extremely important tool in finding job in Canada. So in Canada, telling your personal story to the potential employer, mentor, or people you network is key. Telling your personal story will help others to remember you and perceive you as a real and unique human being. So in a job search context, a personal story is a tool that a job seeker can and actually should use to engage the audience and make an impact. Each person has the unique own story to tell, and it's easier to remember a person by making this mental association between the story and person who shared that story. And I'll give you an example, quick example, what I mean by that.
Interrupt. You probably have just a couple of minutes more and we'll have to wrap up. And I'm hoping that you'll have time to respond to a question. So I just wanted to jump in.
Okay, so just quick example, when I ask a question to clients, in interview questions, why did you choose banking as a career? So a client can say, oh, because I have an education in commerce and because I have some banking experience. Well, that's okay, but that's not enough. Tell me your story. The beauty of the bridging program is that we can connect. We have 6 weeks to get to know you. We know you very well, and we can help you to put this story together. So then I would say to the client, well, you told me you always wanted to work in a bank. You told me your father and your uncle and your brother was in banking. That's why you were always interested in working in a bank. You told me you love working with clients. You know, you love making the special connections with clients. Tell me that story, okay? So this is what clients discover, how important the storytelling is, and we help clients to put those stories together in our program. I know I'm running out of time, so let me just jump here. Those are the upcoming cohorts at ACCES Employment, July 25th, August 1st, November 7th, January 30th, February 6th for Financial Services Connections Program, and we have 3 upcoming Leadership Connections programs. Now, for more information, I wanted to talk about eligibility criteria, but unfortunately I don't have time. I also wanted to talk about the fee that we have. There's a fee for the program. I also wanted to say that this fee might be for eligible clients reimbursed full amount, but for more information, you can simply go to this pages on ACCES Employment website, and I'm hoping that this links will be shared in chat, right? In the chat, correct?
Absolutely, and we'll have the recording of this program as well.
Okay, perfect, yes. So when you click on this first 2 links, this will take you to a page to read more about our programs, Financial Services Connections Program and Leadership Connections Program. When you click on this one, it will take you to the page where you can register for our information sessions, okay? So basically what you do, you type the name of the program in the search box, and then you will get the dates for the info session, and then you can choose the date that is suitable for you and register. Our program, bridging programs, are fully online. The information sessions are fully online. This is not going to change. The bridging program we started during pandemic, of course, but the bridging programs will remain online. It really provides, it's a better option for many of our clients who some have jobs, you know, part-time jobs, and they just provide them with more flexibility. Some of our sponsors, we are funded by the government, and this is my contact information, my email. If you have more questions or if you would like to be referred to a specific bridging program, you know, you can email me and I will make arrangements. So
Eva?
yeah, I'm done.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Can you go back 2 slides? You had something about the cost of the program. If you could just go there.
Yeah. So the program is funded by the government. There is a fee which is payable to one of our academic partners. The fee varies from program to program. For financial services and leadership, it's $500 plus HST. And Ontario Bridging Participant Assistance Program is a program through which you will apply. We have that opportunity for the clients to apply. And when a client apply for this program, if they are eligible, and eligibility depends on your financial situation and family situation. If you're eligible, and most of our clients are, because most of our clients are either unemployed or underemployed, so that means very low income. If you qualify for this, you're going to get your full refund back, the full amount.
And this information is also on your website.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great. I think we have time for one question.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get credit for these bridging programs for degree or diplomas? And can we take any bridging programs online from any province?
Very good question. So the bridging program, let me start with the first question. The bridging program does not apply to any degree or diploma programs. It doesn't. The bridging program is a job search program. So the goal of the program is to have you employed, okay, without a necessity to go back to school and take another degree if you already have one, or diploma. And the second question, the bridging program, it's only available to residents of Ontario. So if you live in another province, and even though the program is online, unfortunately, we cannot accept the client from a different province at this time. It's only for Ontario residents.
Okay, great, thank you. There are a few more
Welcome.
questions that have come in, but Eva has shared her email and contact. So please write to her directly or send us an email at info@canadianimmigrant.ca. So thank you so much.
Thank you,
everyone, for attending our first web conference series in partnership with ACCES Employment. And a special thanks to Eva, John, and Iqbal for joining us today and making such great presentations and sharing your expertise. So if you missed anything, this web conference will be posted on our website for you to watch again. And as I said, you can email us with info@canadianimmigrant.ca with any suggestions, questions, etc. So just one note before I conclude, the Canadian Immigrant in-person fairs are finally back after COVID. So we had our first one in Halifax, and it was great. We had a lot of organizations speaking to a full house of participants and visitors. So please do check our website, and you can attend a fair in your city. So just go to canadianimmigrant.ca/career fair. We have our upcoming fair in Toronto at the end of June. So please look up the dates and join us. So thank you to everyone, and have a wonderful day.
thank you very much.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.